The following is a Shaw TV sports presentation.
From the Hank Reese Soccer Center in Saskatoon, the Conexus Provincial Volleyball Championships are on Shaw. Heath Mulligan here along with Mark Dodds, and it's the 14U boys final. Meadow Lake and the Regina Volleyball Club Goats. And boy, I tell you, one of these teams has been a giant killer here already this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams upsetting the top teams on the way to the final here. Number 4 seed versus number 8 seed in the final, which is a little bit surprising. But hey, this is sports, and that's why you have to play the games. You never know who's going to win them.
Regina has knocked off the first and second seeded teams. Meadow Lake goes 1 and 2 in their pool and then have to go crazy. Are you worn out after that sort of run?
Well, you could be worn out, but you could also be energized by it, right? And they could be riding a big wave, so we'll see what happens here in the final.
We're set to go the gold medal game in the 14U boys division. It's the Conexus Provincial Volleyball Championships on Shaw. Well, Mark Dodds, we're just about set to go the gold medal game in the 14U boys division. Meadow Lake Heat will be wearing white, and to our left as we look at it, and on the opposite side of the court wearing their green, the Regina Volleyball Club Goats. Good team name, good results so far this weekend. The Goats, the number 4 seed, Meadow Lake, the 8th seed overall.
Yeah, a couple of underdog teams here, and I guess Meadow Lake the underdog in this one. And as we go through the Stanley Cup playoffs here, everybody usually likes to cheer for those underdogs. So yeah, we got a couple of them here that we can cheer for.
You're not picking sides though, are you?
No, I'm not going to pick sides. I'm going to be an impartial watcher of the game here.
Head coach of the RVC Goats is Peter Matchney. Trent Marsh, the coach of Meadow Lake, and the game underway with the first serve coming from the Heats. First point, though, goes to Regina.
All right, number 10 with a good solid start to the game. I've heard that he's been very consistent throughout this weekend, so we'll look to him to continue that play.
That's Daniel Belton on the Goats side, and Regina will serve now as the ball is rolled over to Mason Huffman. He stands at the back of the court, ready to go. Strong serve.
Tough pass there for number 3. As we are in a 15U age group, there's no libero, and they have to pass the serve underhand. No overhand passing on serve receive.
And that serve is dropped in a great spot.
Early timeout here for Meadow Lake. Something's not looking right to the coach, so he's gonna get him in and figure it out here.
Well, one serve to Ty Edwards was too hot to handle, then Rico Alcanto Pikachu couldn't get to the next one, so they were pretty deep there on those serves, and they were coming down with some velocity, so maybe they just gotta figure out a way to handle that particular serve.
Yeah, it's tough with the rule being in place that they have to pass underhand, so your positioning on the court becomes pretty important so that you don't get stuck having to play that ball above your head, and then it makes the front part of the court pretty susceptible to those short serves, and we see that Regina's taking advantage of it right away.
What would be the directive or the purpose behind that rule? I'm assuming it has something to do with development.
Absolutely, it's going to be to develop our passers, and as a country, internationally, we're behind in terms of development, so especially with the underhand pass, we want to develop that skill, and that would be why that rule is in place.
So Mason Huffman, as Regina has a 3-0 lead, but here comes the Heat. Down the line wide, and right away, 4-0 lead for the Goats.
Well, Ty Edwards jumped in and passed that one very well that time. Whatever the coach told him, he took it to heart and made sure he fixed it on that very first play.
Not much you can do on that.
Yeah, those are tough ones to handle. Number one, Brody McCammond at the net there, he could maybe back off and be prepared to take those, but he wasn't ready on that one.
Found a spot.
Mason Gorski there with a over on 2, caught Regina sleeping.
So Meadow Lake is on the board. Ty Edwards will serve. That's one way to do it. That was a free ball that is not going to get there, so point Goats.
Yeah. Good thing there's no pictures on the score sheet. They were able to get her back over with a bit of an interesting play.
Sean Longman for Regina serving. No! Rico Alcazo PPQ just about rolled it over the tape, but no. Falls on the Heat side, and right away, a 7-1 lead for RVC.
It looks like Meadow Lake's settling down on the server seed side of things. And just as I say that, another ace serve for Regina.
Rosaire Iron couldn't reach it. They've been dropping those serves in front of the back row, and they're coming with some steam on them too. It's not like they have time to react, really. Gonna have to be much more quick-footed and read that earlier. There's another ace, a little too hot to handle.
Definitely at this age group, serving is gonna be one of the key skills that's going to determine success, and right now Regina is definitely taking advantage of some strong serving.
Meadow Lake got it that time, but can't set up an attack. However, little malfunction at the junction as Bowden Marley and
Mason Hoffman
got crossed up. Brody McCammond serving for the Heat. Nice pass, pretty good swing there. There you go. Alcazo PPQ. Good job.
He found his range.
Not a real tall guy, but he was able to get a good swing on it and put it over with some authority. And now the Heat reeling off a few points in a row.
Yeah, being tall in this game helps, but there's definitely some smaller guys that can have a lot of success playing volleyball.
And that sounds to me like you might be saying, hey, look, I know I'm tall, but that's not the only reason I'm good.
Yes, you have to be very skilled to play this game, and as we can see here, serve and serve receive is a big part of this game, and if you can't do that, it doesn't matter how tall you are.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a chance to take advantage of your height.
It's a free ball that's not going to be got.
Now some good rallies here. The guys are starting to find their groove, probably a few nerves knowing that they're playing on TV and it's the final. Nice pass there.
Good swing there, and that's not going to land in. Meadow Lake on a little bit of a roll.
And we get a timeout. Rosaire Iron had a little bit of trouble to start off the game on serve receive, but now he's gotten up into the front row where he can take advantage of his height, and the lefty ripped that one and caused Regina to call a timeout here.
So it's 9-7 as we see the first timeout called here. It's the 14U gold medal game from the Conexus Provincial Volleyball Championships. A couple of weekends in a row now in Saskatoon at the Hinckley Center, and there's still another one to come. A whole lot of volleyball played in April.
Yeah, it's great to see this many people jammed in here, and a lot of young athletes playing volleyball. It's great to see as a coach, and I love seeing these young 14-year-old boys finding their love for this sport right now. You can see a lot of passion out there on the court.
Brody McCammond will serve. You say a lot of people jammed in. It's thinned out now late in this day, but boy, you come here in the morning or the middle of the afternoon and you have to park halfway to Martinsville to get into this lot. Tons of people.
Yeah, the parking is a little bit of a struggle here, but we find a way to get around it, and everyone
sure.
gets
it's all
here.
good. It's all good. Just amazed by how many people you can have in this building
Yeah.
at one time. It is literally a zoo in here when they've got all the courts on the go.
Now we see Regina starting to struggle on that serve receive side. And again, at this age group, we're going to see a lot of runs here. Another ace serve.
And Mason Gorski. If that hadn't gone into the floor, they might have called 2 hits on that, as I think it went off the arms and in the face of Logan.
Oh. So as a coach there, I don't like to see when the blockers are blocking when the other team's giving them a free ball, and that one kind of came back to bite them. Ah, good serve, good pass.
And a good swing.
Oh, there we go.
And a good defensive play, but
Too much heat on that one from
Longman
the
did
Meadow
a good
Lake
job,
Heat.
but it's way gone. 11-10. Thought this one looked like it might get carried away, but Meadow Lake right back to it. And a 1-point game, and now we're locked up at 11.
Yeah, I think both of these teams have probably found themselves behind in this tournament, and both of them have found a way to fight back and come back. So we'll never count either one of these teams out until the match is finished.
That one's going to go the Goats' way. Calling a carry. Logan Newman on the service for Regina Volleyball Club's Goats. Dylan Esau didn't get it up.
Little miscue there. Good pass, good set. Tried to go sharp cross court and caught too much of the net. Rally of the game ends in Regina's favor.
Little tip tried there, or maybe it was a pass, but it went on to the Regina side, and it was easy pickings. And that's going to be a point off to serve.
Now we got Logan Newman back here going on a bit of a run. We'll see if Meadow Lake takes a timeout or if they can fight their way out of this.
15-11 now.
Ooh, 2-hit call on the setter there.
Oh.
Regina loses an opportunity.
Rosaire Iron serving for the Heats, the lefty. It's out.
Little much on that attack. I'm really pleased to see here at such a young age the second contact from these teams. The serve receive is not quite always there to the setter, but having guys step in and set second contact, and they're still getting some swings out of these balls. There's a perfect example from Rosaire Iron. That's a very key part of the game is second contact. As we see, the serve receive is always a little bit all over the place, and it's like that even at the highest level. To have those players that are non-setters step in and still make a hittable ball is very, very important. Great dig by Rosaire.
Look at that. Meadow Lake gets just what they need. Go on a bit of a run and tie it up at 15. A little wide.
I got a little too aggressive.
Nathaniel Porman serving for Regina. Timing not there. As Esau tried to put it up for Edwards, but
the last serve there from Nathaniel was a good example. Nice deep float serve, and Rico had to really adjust and used one hand to actually pass it. Another deep serve, he handled that one well. Great dig by Logan.
It's gone long.
Great attack there by Brody. He just aimed a little deep on that one and missed the end line by a couple of feet. Wonderful dig, wonderful dig. Set him again, I like that. So Dylan got dug on his first attack and the ball came back over and the setter gave him a second chance. Wasn't able to capitalize, but I like that mentality.
Four
Give him
in a
another
row.
whack.
Sorry, Mark, 4 in a row, now 5 in a row for the Goats. They go to 20. And timeout time.
Forced
as
another timeout. Well, we've seen back-to-back runs of 5, one for Meadow Lake, and then Regina comes right back with their own run of 5.
So inside that Meadow Lake huddle now where the timeout was called by Trent Marsh, what would you be telling the boys at this point based on the last 5 points of the game?
Well, I think it's natural for athletes. The pressure starts to build up at the end of a set, and so players get a little bit tight. Remind them to trust and believe in their ability to pass the serve and also trust the guy beside. I think the last play we saw there, 2 guys bailed out and the ball landed between them. So just to trust each other and play within the system that they've been playing within all year, and they'll be perfectly fine. And sometimes it's nice just to give the guys a breather.
Regroup.
Absolutely.
All right, let's see if it works for them. Slowing things down here for a minute. Right back to the serve, though, Nathaniel Poorman for the RVC Goats. 20-15 is the score. And right away, a 21-point.
Yeah, we see his serve is landing in the back 5 feet of the court, so I just saw Rico there talk to his other passers and asked everyone to back up a little bit, so we'll see. Oh, his run comes to an end with a missed serve in the net.
Well,
I
the
think
Heat have answered before with a run of their own. Let's see. Dylan Esau. Point Goats.
Daniel Belton with another kill. I believe he's 2 for 2 on the night.
Mason Hoffman. A little long, and it's out.
Well, Meadow Lake giving another life here.
Ty Edwards will serve. 17-22. We'll play up to 25. That's an unfortunate miss there as Al Kappa-Pikachu was set up pretty good by the Goats, but
yeah, great serve by Ty Edwards there, and got an overpass. Most front row players like those ones, and he just missed that one.
Sean Longman. Yep, it's out. Edwards was tracking it, but made the right decision at the end, helped out by his teammates.
Yeah, that's 2 missed serves in a row after 20 points. Those are the ones that give coaches gray hairs.
you got him reeling, and you don't finish the deal.
Yeah.
We're at 24 now, though.
Meadow Lake gives it right back.
24-18 for the first game. Daniel Belton with the serve.
Great rip by Rosaire Iron. He can get that left hand ripping.
Meadow Lake sits at 19 now, and they'll serve. Staying alive. Got to score a bundle in a row here.
Wow, there's a good start.
Yep.
I do believe Mason had a run of about 5 or 6 his last time up when he was serving, so let's look for him to do the same again. He's putting some heat on that serve.
He sure is. And it works again. Gorski makes it 24-21. Here they come.
I'm looking to see a timeout here from Regina's coach if they score another one.
Wow. Oh, man. Oh, I thought Regina had pulled it out. And there's that timeout that you talked about, Mark.
Yeah, again, I can hear the coach saying, okay, boys, we just got to settle down. And I think, again, it's after 20, the pressure's on here, and we see Logan put a little bit of extra sauce on that free ball, and the guys are looking at each other thinking, okay, guys, 1 point here, 1 point.
Every sport is distinct in what tendencies come to the fore when there is pressure in volleyball. What do you see if a team is suddenly playing a little tight or nervous?
Well, generally they look to their best player, and so a setter generally will set their best player in that tight situation. But right now, there's 3, maybe 4 guys that have to pass that first ball before any of those tendencies can happen, and it comes down to those basic skills. So we'll see here again, first contact versus first contact.
Free ball, dropped in there nicely, and that'll do it. So the RVC Goats hanging around 23 or 24 points for a long time there, but finally finished the deal. It's a 25-22 final, game number 1 of the 14U Conexus Provincial Volleyball Championships. More to come on Shaw from the Hank Reese Center in Saskatoon. From the Conexus Provincial Volleyball Championships, Heath Mulligan and Mark Dodds at the Hank Reese Center in Saskatoon. The first game of this best-of-3 14U boys final went to the Regina Volleyball Club Goats, 25-22 over the Meadow Lake Heat, and the Goats to our left now in green will serve to start game number 2 in the best-of-3. Mason Hoffman queuing it up for the Goats. We'll play again up till 25. If we have to go to a third set, the game is up to 15, but Meadow Lake needs to win to make that happen. And the Goats strike first.
Tough start on serve receive again. We're going to see a lot of new faces out here. Again, one of the rules with this age group is that all of the players that are on the bench for the first set must play and start the second set. And then I believe after 15 points, you're able to make some changes as a coach and make some substitutions. But
so those players that are out there now that didn't play in the first are on the court up till 15, up till somebody gets 15?
Until somebody gets 15, and then if the coach wants to, he can make some changes. But
gotcha.
I doubt that we'll see that. I'm certain we'll see these players that are on the court now play this whole set to the finish. Ooh, we got a net call here. Everybody's looking around saying, was that you? Was that me? Nobody ever seems to touch the net when the ref's called.
Meadow Lake's Kyle Moran is going to serve into the net. 3-1, Goats. Jake Peters at the back line with the ball. It's out, just, but it was out. Peters will serve again.
Peters wearing Ray Bork's old 77.
And Elton John's socks, I think.
Oh.
Two hits.
2 hits called on the setter. Looked like the set still ended up in the right place because Logan Newman went up and absolutely crushed it, but the referee ended that play early.
Jordan Zato couldn't handle that serve in Meadow Lake right away. Back-to-back points. Drew Ackerman serving for the Heat. kill.
Rosaire Iron up there again with that left hand. He's starting to heat up.
The iron is getting hot, is it?
Yes.
Should we just let it go, or should we just start pouring on all the cliches with that name Heat and a name like Iron?
Every time I say the Heat, I keep remembering, wait, that is their team name.
Yep.
I'll try to find another word.
Point there for the Goats.
Yeah, Dylan went fishing there, got a little tangled up in the net.
Attaboy. On the serve, Julian Geddes. Making an ace.
Well, all three passers on the Meadow Lake side were all pretty confident that that one was out. Landed right on the end line.
7-4, Goats. Ooh. Slipped through the fingers there a little bit. And a timeout is going to be called.
That's probably one of the toughest skills for these young men to perfect right now is the overhand pass. They're just all kind of growing and lanky and not quite strong enough, so we're probably going to see quite a few more two-hit calls as they struggle to get that set coming out cleanly.
So out of the gate quickly here in the second game, the Goats an 8-4 lead, and they had the 25-22 win in the first. So the pressure building a little bit now on Meadow Lake, and Trent Marsh has to do some coaching over there.
Yeah, definitely the coaching is going to be important at this age group, making sure that everybody's on the same page and thinking the right things. It's very easy for a young 14-year-old athlete to lose track and get off track, I guess, in a very high-pressure game such as the final of a 14U provincial championship.
Back to Geddes and the serve, and he drops it in a hole. Smile from Julian Geddes as he's serving his team into a pretty good lead here. And there's another. Not coming back, 10-4.
Yeah, he's starting to feel it back there. You can see he's getting a little bit of swagger. And the Meadow Lake guys are starting to reel a little bit here.
You bet. Geddes. Another one drops in there.
All four guys back there, they're ready to pass. I can see it in their eyes. They're all geared up. They've just had a little trouble executing.
So 11-4, here comes the serve. And they do get it set up that time, but a little too much put on it by Carson Gauthier.
Yeah, Carson passed that one, got a good pass, and the setter figured, okay, I'll give him the set and see if he can end this run.
Finally, the run ends. But Meadow Lake is in a hole. 5 serving 12, Zachary Iron. Good, powerful serve, but it's handled pretty well, although the pass there, not good. We're gonna have a point to Meadow Lake. Wait a second, I think.
Yeah, point to Meadow Lake there. There's some confusion from the ref. I think a couple of the Meadow Lake guys were on the net there, but the ball landed cleanly on Regina's side, and the ref wasn't quite sure what he wanted to call. Here we go, we got a bit of a rally going.
And the finish. Out of the middle, Rosaire Iron.
Yeah, he's had a pretty successful game in the attacking side of things. He's tough to stop when he gets up there.
Good serve there from Zachary Iron, and here we go again. Those service runs, chipping away at the lead, Meadow Lake. 12-8 now, just 4 points back. make it 3. A lot on that serve, and it's given Peter Machny the thought that maybe he ought to call a timeout.
It looks like the Iron brothers are both lefties, and right now they're bringing their team back into this match.
So the Goats, 25-22 win in the first. They had a nice little lead built up here, but they've seen it whittled away a little. Still look like they've got some pretty good energy over there on that side of things, but some spring now in the step of the Meadow Lake Heat.
Yeah, Regina can rest easy knowing that if Meadow Lake comes back and wins this, they've still got another chance, where as Meadow Lake has a little more pressure on them, they must win this set to stay alive.
Not a good pass. A little bit long, and Carson Gauthier was ready for it, but it was back out of his range. Braden Johnson serving for the Goats. A lot of lefties out here today. That one's good for a point.
Yeah, that's actually quite surprising. There are a good number of lefties, I believe 3 on the Meadow Lake team and 1 or 2 on the Regina team. That's good to see.
Johnson, another good serve. It's no man's land back there. 15-9.
Yeah, back-to-back communication errors. You take it. No, I'll take it. You take it. Oh, nobody's taking it. We'll see if they can figure it out on this pass.
Gonna get the free ball over the net.
Good defense.
And good swing that time. The defense not gonna get it over. They had a chance, couldn't convert.
Yeah, real great set, and
Yeah,
good swing by Logan Newman. And a great block and defense by Meadow Lake. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get her back over the net.
16-9. And there's the 10th for Meadow Lake, as Carson Gauthier will go back to serve.
Free ball coming here to Meadow Lake. Good rip and a good dig.
It was out, but it was off a hand. So that's for Meadow Lake.
Julian Geddes kind of went after that and decided he wanted to leave it, and I think it caught a piece of his hand on the way by.
He was trying to get out of there. Gauthier will serve again.
Oh, there's that left hand again from Rosaire Iron. Got 2 whacks at it, and the second one was successful.
That'll tighten things up. 16-12 now. Meadow Lake trailing, and they have the serve. Into the net.
We've seen all of these runs usually have been ending from missed serves. So just a lack of focus from the server to keep that foot on the pedal.
Timeout called by the Meadow Lake Heat. Marsh called his team in. They trail 17-12 in the second game of the best of 3.
Yeah, interesting timeout there. I believe that is his second timeout of the set, if I'm
I think
not
you're right.
mistaken. Yeah,
Yep.
second timeout. So interesting to call it after a run of his own from his team. But obviously he saw something out of whack out there and wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to cost them a point coming up here, as Regina's best server goes back in Logan Newman.
Newman set to go, 17-12.
Little joust at the net there, and Rosaire Iron was able to win it over to the Regina side. Oh.
And they finish off. 13 on the board now for the Heat. Substitution.
Yeah. We're going to see a little bit of a side substitution here.
Jordan Zato comes out of the game. Daniel Belton back in for the Goats. And the service into the net.
Yeah, sometimes that little delay there gets in the server's head and he's standing back there too long watching and waiting and ends up missing. Great pass by Rosaire.
Nice job.
Big block there. So interesting here, Drew Ackerman for the Heat was serving with his left hand, but in the front row he has been attacking with his right hand. Good attack from Drew there. Ball still alive. And a second attempt there from Drew scores a point.
19-14. Goats still with that somewhat comfortable lead here. That'll close the gap by one. Meadow Lake has been chasing for the longest time here in the second game. Sean Longman will come back in for the Goats. Jake Peters is coming out. And Dylan Esau will serve again for Meadow Lake. They're 4 behind now.
As we can see there, Dylan is using a jump float serve. Great dig by Meadow Lake. Another one. And a great swing off the block.
Nice job. Kyle Morin, you said it, you don't have to be tall to be good.
Yeah, he was coming up against a couple of giants compared to him, and as we see, he comes out on the winning side of it.
He's got a smile.
Yeah, he's pretty pumped about that one.
Smile to go along with the point.
As I said before, Dylan Esau with that jump float serve. A lot of these younger guys are serving a standing float serve, but as we can see, the jump float serve can be very effective as he gets a little bit higher and makes that angle a lot different for the passers.
And they pull within a couple points, the Meadow Lake Heat. That gives Peter Machny an idea. Timeout.
Yeah, not a lot being said over here in the timeout. Again, just a bit of a break, and sometimes it's nothing else other than trying to get the server to take a break and lose his lack of focus.
Freezing out the kicker.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been a fantastic couple of weeks here at these Conexus Provincial Volleyball Championships, and there's still more to come. Glad you could be here today, Mark, and help us out with the 14U game.
Well, happy to be here. These young guys are inspiring for me. It takes me back to the good old days when I fell in love with this great game.
Nice job. With a little bit of authority there, and that's how you end a run, with a little something extra.
Yeah, Julian Geddes has been a big part of their success this set. He went on that big serving run, and now he ends a big run by Meadow Lake with a big kill.
Mason Hoffman gets the tape to play along. 21-17.
Yeah, Mason Hoffman with a great serve. We'll give a shout out to his grandma Marlene, who was inducted into the Sask Volleyball Hall of Fame last weekend at the events here in Saskatoon. So some volleyball blood flowing in his veins.
Not going to get that one.
Staying alive here, staying alive.
It's got to be hard when you're looking over at that score table and you see that 20s over there, and you got to keep fighting. Kyle Morin for the Heat.
Great pass by Logan Newman.
That's going to find some room. It was tipped, but in nevertheless. 22-18.
Yeah, Julian Geddes again.
Yeah.
Really coming through when it counts for his boys.
He's up there in that front right now, so I think Meadow Lake is going to have to deal with him for another serve here, or maybe more. The Heat strike back. Close game again, 19-22. Drew Ackerman for the Heat. They're going to save that.
Still alive, still alive.
That would have been a huge point to lose. But they're going to get it now. Oh, wait a second. It touched somebody on the way by.
No, they're calling Meadow Lake on the net. Yeah, the down official saw something that the up official didn't, and net touch. Those are killers after 20 points.
23-19 now. 2 points away for the Goats. It's out, and nobody touched it. Kyle Morin did a pretty good job there, contorting himself to get his hands out of the way and then his head.
Yeah, we'll say that he's thankful to be short on that one.
So 20-23 now. Zachary Iron. Nicely done. Oh, no, that was good. It's out.
Just out of bounds.
Yeah, and now it's a 2-point game.
We had some shouting from the Meadow Lake coach calling for 4 hits on that one. I guess the referee saw a touch on the block. Bit of a miscue there with the setter-hitter communication.
That one's out.
Daniel Belton just missed the sideline on that one.
And now it's a 1-point game. Next one is big. Either way, huge point here. Zachary Iron serving for the Heat. Is 22-23. And the pressure got him into the net. And we'll have some substitutions now as the RVC Goats are about to serve for the medal. Bowden Marley is coming in. Braden Johnson coming out.
Yeah, as Bowden was walking up, he saw the score. He knows the situation here.
Can win it with his serve. Oh, man, and he had something on it, too. Ticked the tape on the way by, but it was good. Gold medal
it is.
for the Goats. 25-22 in both games, Mark. The RVC Goats were the favorites in this matchup, and they did the deed and were just that little step better, it seems, from the very beginning.
Yeah, and as you saw, you talked about tendencies. End of the match, they went to their big gunner in Logan Newman, and he came through. As you can see, they're pretty excited. This is pretty awesome to see these young guys having this much fun playing this game.
It's always fun to win your last game of the season, and the gold medal goes to the RVC Goats. Out of the Regina Volleyball Club, silver to the Meadow Lake Heats, 25-22, 25-22. Mark Dodds, thanks so much for being here. Really appreciated having you alongside.
Absolutely. This was a pleasure, and like I said, it's fun to see these young guys playing. I think both of these teams are going to go home pretty happy here based on where they came into the weekend with their ranking.
Thank you to the Shaw crew for being here and putting it all together today. Thank you for watching wherever you are watching all around Saskatchewan. And we hope to talk to you again soon. Heath Mulligan saying farewell from the Hank Rees Center in Saskatoon.